Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of mysterious world of George Gurdjieff. He was a 20th century teacher whose ideas are like this living flame, still burning super brightly for anyone out there looking for something more. Just listen to that for a second. A sleeping machine. This quote gets right to the heart of what Gurdjieff was all about. It's this incredible hook, the idea that even though we're walking around, thinking, feeling, doing things, we might not be as awake as we think we are. We might just be sleeping. All right, so that leads us right into our first big idea, the call to awaken. And no, we're not talking about your morning alarm clock. This is about waking up from a totally different kind of slumber, one that happens when our eyes are wide open. So, here's Gurdjieff's big claim. Most of what we do, our reactions, our thoughts, even our emotions, it's all just automatic. It's all conditioned responses. We're basically running on autopilot. We think we're making choices, but a lot of the time we're just reacting, kind of like a machine. And that's really where Gurdjieff comes in. See, he didn't just point out this problem of waking sleep and leave it at that. Nope. He offered a radical path, a practical map for how to actually wake up from it and become a truly conscious human being. So what was his solution? Well, it's this system he developed called the fourth way. And it's called that for a really good reason. It's a totally different approach to transformation. And it's one that's uniquely built for the world we live in right now. And this slide, it just lays it all out so clearly. Think about it. The traditional paths, the way of the monk, the yogi, the fakir, they often require you to step away from your life, right? You go to a monastery or an ashram. But the fourth way, that's designed to be practiced right here, right now, in the middle of our jobs, our families, our daily chaos. It actually uses our life as the raw material for the work. Okay, so if you're going to take on this journey within your daily life, you're going to need some tools, right? You need a toolkit. So let's look at the essential equipment that Gurdjieff provided for this inner journey. The absolute cornerstone, the foundational tool, is self-remembering. And this has nothing to do with memory, like remembering your keys. It's this active state of divided attention. You're aware of the world around you, sure, but you're also aware of yourself inside it. So you're in a conversation, and you notice what the other person is saying, but you also notice the tension in your own shoulders. It's being here twice. Now, why would you do this? Because according to Gurdjieff, most of the time, we aren't really a single person. We're more like a chaotic committee of temporary eyes. There's the angry eye, the happy eye, the professional eye, and they all take turns running the show. The whole point of self-remembering is to build a stable, conscious center, a real eye that can actually observe and manage all these little parts, instead of just being dragged around by them. Another key tool is this brilliant model of our inner machinery, the three brains, or centers. Gurdjieff taught that we have three completely different kinds of intelligence: intellectual, emotional, and moving or physical. The work is to get them all working together, in harmony. He said modern life tends to overdevelop our brain, our intellectual center, and we let the others fall behind. And when they're unbalanced, when your head tries to feel or your heart tries to think, it just creates a mess inside. And get this is what's absolutely wild. Gurdjieff was talking about this 100 years ago, long before it was common knowledge. He was describing ideas that modern neuroscience is only now catching up to, with things like the gut brain, or the huge role the limbic system plays in our emotions. It's an incredible, almost spooky parallel. All right, theory is great. It's the foundation. But Gurdjieff's whole system was about doing. It was about practice. So let's look at a few exercises that take these big ideas and make them totally real and tangible. Okay, the stop exercise is probably one of the most famous. And it is powerful. It's a direct way to jolt yourself out of that automatic pilot mode. So you set a random alarm. When it goes off, you freeze. Everything. Your body, your thoughts, just stop. And in that sudden silence, you get this incredible snapshot of your own machine-like nature and just a little taste of what it feels like to be truly consciously present. And look, it doesn't always have to be this big, dramatic stop moment. This practice can be woven into every second of your day. Like when you're washing dishes, are you really there feeling the warm water, or is your mind a million miles away? Before you snap back at someone, can you just for a second observe that flash of anger rising inside you? Can you open a door with your full, complete attention? Every single moment becomes an opportunity to practice. So, how does all this carry on today? We're calling this section a timeless living flame because this work was never meant to be a dusty old philosophy you just read about. It was designed to be a living, breathing process passed from person to person. His influence is actually massive, but it's often kind of hidden, under the surface. You can see echoes of his ideas all over modern psychology. Take cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance. That's all about spotting and changing your automatic thought patterns. So much of the modern mindfulness movement, like self-observation and not acting on every impulse, runs right alongside his teachings, even if people don't always know his name. He planted seeds that really have spread everywhere. Today, the flame is kept alive in fourth way schools all over the world. And these groups are super important because the source material really hammers this home. This work is incredibly hard, maybe impossible to do alone. The groups act like little laboratories for transmitting this knowledge through direct experience. But, and this is a big but, the sources also offer a word of caution. It's really important to approach these groups with some discernment to make sure they're focused on the real practical work and not just empty talk. And this quote it nails it. This captures the whole spirit of the thing. It's not about reaching some perfect enlightened state and then you're done. The work is the journey. It's that constant effort, that alchemical fire that slowly, moment by moment, transforms the heavy lead of our automatic habits into the pure gold of real conscious awareness. So, in the end, it all really boils down to this one question. Gurdjieff gave us a map. He gave us a set of tools. But the journey itself, that's personal. The flame is there inside each and every one of us. But tending to it, well, that takes courage, it takes effort, and it takes a real, deep desire to truly, finally awaken. Thanks so much for joining me on this exploration.